I haven't finished 358, so I'm very hazy on the subject of Xion. I understand it, but why didn't Riku recognize her?
Riku doesn't. Well, he kind of does recognize her a bit. Like, I think he says something about he reminds me of somebody, but yeah, he says something like "you remind me of somebody." I think if I'm I can't say the word correct. That's why he's trying to tell her and warn her that she's on the wrong side. Right. But at this time, what I'm pretty much trying to tell you is, while Sora is gaining his memory back, this is the time where Roxas and Xion are kind of getting into the mix of what the fuck's going on, because they're starting to get, like, things that they shouldn't be getting, because Sora's recovering his memory and they're starting to remember everything. And it really happens with Xion because of the fact that she is a part of Kairi and Naminé, so since she is linked with Sora, she sort of has that remembrance of what's going on more than Roxas does, because if you think about it, Roxas is a part of Sora, but he's not completely full. As for Xion is connected with Kairi and Sora, so it's even more of effect. So she's starting to remember things, and it's not really her memories, and she's asking why is she getting these memories. Yeah. And then at this point, she finally realizes what the hell is going on, and then she tries to tell Axel and Roxas to get away from her because she's going haywire. And at the end, I don't really want to spoil it unless you're okay with it.
I don't mind, but I don't know if others want to be, so...
that's why we said major spoilers.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Pretty much, what happens is, she goes so haywire that her whole body turns into a real nobody. As you know how the nobodies we fight, like dusks and stuff like that? She turns into an actual nobody dusk sort of thing. She's not really a dusk, but she sort of turns into something like that. And that's when, Roxas has to kill her, so he kills her, and when in the process of her dying, pretty much why Xemnas created her, it was to make Roxas be able to use his Keyblade a lot more efficiently or something like that, and he wanted Xion because she can use the Keyblade too. It was sort of like a doll for him to see what would go on and just fuck with Roxas, because he originally wanted Roxas to be the Keyblade bearer, because as you can tell in the story of Dream Drop Distance, the reason why Xemnas had Roxas was because of the fact that he can use the Keyblade, and he needed the Keyblade. But when he lost Roxas, that's when he had Sora. That was the reason why he wanted Sora to turn into a Heartless, so that he could have Axel. Or, I keep on mixing up Roxas and Axel. To have...
His name is Lee!
Lee! Yeah, everybody... His name is Lee! But yeah...
His name is Lee, goddammit!
That's his, that's the whole, backstory on Xion. But, see, here, back to the Marluxia and Larxene thing. What I think is going on, the reason why we didn't see them, if the whole Heartless thing isn't correct, the reason why we didn't see those guys is because of the fact that, what I think is the fact that they're still in Castle Oblivion.
Right.
Either that or they're hiding somewhere in Castle Oblivion. Because if you remember, I think the reason why they wanted...
No way! That's how much I missed by half a second, really?
Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, because of the fact that they're in Castle Oblivion, they kind of wanted them to stay in Castle Oblivion, if this theory is correct, because of the fact that they have to watch Roxas, or, I mean, not Roxas, Ven.
Yeah.
They have to keep Ven.
I want to talk about the 7 lights, because what I think's going to happen... I think Terra's somehow going to come back. Although I'd love for Kairi to be a light. I don't think Kairi is.
Terra is back. He is back, but he doesn't...
But you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. I want to say that. I don't want him to be a light. I want it to be Kairi over him, and I want it to be Lee as well. Yeah. But I don't think he needs to be. But I think okay, if I'm gonna be honest, here's what I want. As much as I don't want Terra to be a light, I want someone else not to be more. Riku. I want him to turn bad again, just for one reason. Okay, you know in Monstro when Riku sees himself, that's himself in Kingdom Hearts 1, his evil self. Now, what it was explained...
That's his self in Chain of Memories. You know, his evil duplication.
No, you're wrong.
That's why it gives you the Chain of Memories flashback, because he's from Chain of Memories.
Okay, fair. I see that. I see your point. Fine. Okay, I don't think he's... Well, okay, fine. That's true. I don't think he's actually there. I think he's just a dream state. Like, he wasn't there at the table. At the table, at the end, Riku from Kingdom Hearts 1 was there, because if you may remember, they said no one will remember the events here. Like, everything they did in the future, they won't remember when they get back. So Riku will never remember having gone to the future to do all this. To set up this thing. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. I want Sora to fight Riku, but I want Riku to turn evil, so he has to fight 2 Rikus, and it destroys his soul. Because you can't kill your best friend, let alone 2 of them. Do you see my point? That would be utterly soul-destroying for Sora. It would be so good.
And you know how, that should happen, just because of how dark the story began.
But Riku will be there. Riku will be there because he is. Riku was there in Kingdom Hearts 1. He's part of Xehanort. He is Xehanort himself. So, Riku will be there regardless, and Sora will have to fight him at some point. And that will destroy him, but fighting 2 will be fuckloads better!
And even more awesome, the fact that Sora doesn't remember fighting Dark Riku in Castle Oblivion, because he does fight Dark Riku.
Yeah, he does remember.
No, he doesn't, because of the fact that he
turns into a Heartless, but he still remembers.
No, not in...
in Oblivion, sorry, right.
Oblivion, yeah. He doesn't remember fighting Dark Riku in Castle Oblivion.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Because in Castle Oblivion, the copy Riku is way more darker than the Riku that he fought, because he was fighting Ansem pretty much. As for Dark Riku in Castle Oblivion, he was more of the fact that
he was just a copy of a weak.
And he was a big dick.
No, the copy from Oblivion won't be there. Because the copy isn't it isn't part of Ansem, and the copy isn't that great in comparison. Like I really, because like in Kingdom Hearts 1, Riku was really hard. That boss against Rixen the second time was tough.
Yeah. The second boss battle.
He was tough. I was not. Yeah. What am I saying? I loved the battle, but it was hard. It was really hard.
Like, it was epic and everything, but holy shit, his desperation move, man.
Yeah.
Fuck your shit up if you mess up.
Yeah.
Just keeps on teleporting. And then his last attack, he like summon beams.
It'll be really good to see what happens with that, because come on, Kingdom Hearts 3D had some really awesome bosses. So
yeah, it did.
Like, think of Rixem, but Kingdom Hearts 3D style.
Also, another thing that I wanted to explain was the fact that the whole Organization 13 ordeal, or was it? Oh, hold on, I have this idea, but I think I just lost it, which is kind of annoying because it was a good one.
Organization 13.
Oh, okay, here we go. Pretty much how the Organization 13 began and how Ansem took, or Xemnas took Ansem the Wise's name. Okay, this is pretty much my theory on how everything foretold or happened for the Organization 13. Pretty much what happened is, in Kingdom Hearts 2, you remember Xemnas, or Xehanort, I mean, asking Ansem the Wise about the door to darkness and everything like that. And he says, no, enough of that, I don't want that to happen, and stuff like that. Pretty much what I think happened in the mix of all that, because they didn't really clear up the story of that, it just showed the beginning and then like, oh, okay, what the fuck is going on? Pretty much what I think happened is Xemnas, or Xehanort, I keep on mixing them up, because Xehanort is not Xemnas.
I'll explain my theory after you do yours.
Alright, so pretty much what happened is, while the mix of that was happening, Xehanort was slowly remembering who he was, and slowly remembering what he wanted to achieve, the reason why he wanted to lose his memory in the first place, because he was planning on losing his memory, which wasn't told, but he was planning on losing his memory so that he could trick Xigbar. That's the whole point of the Xigbar role. He wanted Xigbar to be there so that he would have a witness of him not being able to remember anything.
Yeah.
So he was just using Xigbar as his puppet.
Yeah.
At the time, or brain.
And further proof of that is probably one of the creepiest lines in the thing. I'm already half Xehanort. That fucking scared me. Like, I couldn't talk because it was the cutscenes for the Let's Play, but I was like, fuck! What? What? This is so messed up!
So, okay.
Shit!
What goes on in this ordeal that they don't show is, while he's trying to remember his memory, at the same time, you gotta remember, he's still in Terra's body as well. And he's still himself. Now, what happens is, this is how I know the fact that Terra is back 100%. Because, right before Xehanort starts planning out his real roles, like, once he starts truly remembering who he is, he starts, like, in the beginning of Dream Drop Distance, you realize that he starts attacking everybody, and he says he's not Xehanort, he's Ansem. Now, see, this is what I'm thinking. While he was doing that, he turned everybody into a Heartless with his Keyblade. And when they turned them into a Heartless, they turned into, or while that's happening, I don't know, because you say this whole Heartless thing. I think Sora already defeated everybody's Heartlesses, and that's what...
There's no proof of that, though.
Yeah, there's no proof of it, though, but if that's the case, that's how they turned into... Or, because, you see, he can't actually turn them into nobodies at that point in time. He had to turn them into Heartless, therefore that's why he stabbed them all in the heart, and they all started to fade away. So, I don't know how they turned into nobodies, or maybe he just hacked the system or some shit like that, or his Keyblade could do some special things, because you gotta remember, Xehanort is pretty smart with the whole darkness stuff. He understands it quite well.
Yeah.
So, either he turned them into Heartless, or he turned them into nobodies, and if that's the case, they either don't have Heartless, or they don't have nobody, or they just turn into a nobody automatically. Which would totally throw everybody off because of the fact that everybody knows the fact that you have to be a Heartless and then die, and then once you die, you turn into... Or
well,
wait,
I think, like, going on the, like, the Heartless weren't necessarily destroyed. I think maybe he destroyed the Heartless, he sought them out and destroyed them himself. If he wanted them to be back, he could have done that.
Yeah, I think that's what he did. He did that while he was in Ansem.
Yeah.
As, like, okay, pretty much what I think happened is, the reason why he calls himself Ansem is because because that's the point when he stole Ansem the Wise's name. And what he did was, he used his own Keyblade to do what Sora did to himself. He stabbed himself with his own Keyblade to make Ansem and Xehanort, or...
Well, Xemnas.
Yes, Xemnas. And that's what he did to create them. And pretty much what he did is...
He's creating more versions of himself.
Yes, exactly.
He's making the 13 Darknesses.
Exactly. So, what he pretty much wanted, this is what he did. When he did that, I think what he did was, when he did that, he told both of them before he changed, because, see, this is what I feel. I feel as if, what he did was, when he did that, he turned into young Xehanort, and then he told his young Xehanort self to go into where... No.
I'll tell you what I think happened.
No,
oh my god, I forgot I did 25. Yes, we've done with all of these.
Okay, good. No,